All right. Well, Matt, today we're going to start off with Garrett Wilson, who is number one wide receiver on my board, but it's close. It's close with a guy that we'll get to second, but we're going to start with Garrett Wilson out of Ohio State, the first of two Ohio State guys we're going to be talking about today. This guy, just a polished route runner, very excellent after the catch. You know, his rack ability. We're going to pull up some game film here of Garrett Wilson and play through just some of his plays that he's had at Ohio State over the years. Just run after the catch, very key. I mean, this guy's, we're seeing it right here, just uber aggressive after the catch, running. His routes are polished. In my opinion, he is the yak guy of this class when looking at the first round. A lot to like about him. Creates a lot of separation, and just I have him as my number one wide receiver on the board.
He's my number two wide receiver on the board, and it's for a reason. He, as you mentioned, creates great separation, and once he has the ball in his hands, you're not going to be able to catch him. His ability to maneuver in the open field is insane. If you give him just a little bit of space, he is going to blow by any secondary player in the area. So you need to guard him tight, and with his release and his just linear speed, it's almost impossible.
Yeah, and I mean, I wouldn't say, like, compared to other people we've seen come into the league and prospects coming out of college, I wouldn't say he has the elite, top echelon style of speed, especially in this year's class. I don't think he's the fastest guy, but when he gets to the top speed and, starts getting quick in and out of his routes, that's when he starts beating you, 10, 15 yards down the field on these deeper routes that they ran a lot of with him at Ohio State.
Yeah, and one of the big things about him, I love his ability to get the 50-50 ball. He might not be the biggest guy in this draft. I believe he's at 6 foot, I believe he measured at this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 6 foot. He's not the biggest guy, but his ability to get up in the air and grab it is second to none in this class. Actually, I should say behind one player. But compared to his height, it's extremely impressive.
Yeah, and this could be – I think Garrett Wilson might be the only wide receiver that I think goes in the top 10 once we get over to April. And I think he's been linked a lot with the New York Jets. I had him in my mock draft falling to 13, which I think is, the low end of the spectrum for Garrett Wilson to the Houston Texans. But somewhere in that 8 to 13 range, I think, is really going to be his happy spot in the first round.
Yeah, no, there's no question. He's filled with talent. There are plenty of teams that need help at the wide receiver position, including in that top 10, as you mentioned, the Falcons and the New York Jets. So two teams that you could see go after him there. Otherwise, yeah, he's definitely not getting past around 15 or 16, I'd say.